My nephew and I have been speaking of sacrifices in the forms that they come in. We would lay motionless and muted next to one another. We would share a conversation with our labored breath instead of our tongues that share the same blood. We both wanted to say, "I love you," but that in itself is a sacrifice. I am all sheepskin and bloodshed. I know that loving brown bodies comes as a sacrifice, so I asked my nephew what he wanted his funeral to be like. Of course, he didn't answer, so instead I told him about mine. I told him that Aunt Vicky cannot sing under any circumstance, and even through death, he still cannot have the ox. Also, my obituary must be a hologram with me in 2 different poses. He laughed, so I asked him again. Of course, he didn't answer, so I persisted, and then he receded into a puddle of blood in front of me. Poof. Gone. Just like that. I know. I know that loving brown bodies comes as a sacrifice. How dare I get my hopes up? How dare our home swallow our bodies? How dare it spit us out? Where we from? The average age for homicide victims is 21. They young, poof. They dying, poof. They disappear, poof. The bodies in my city do not have names. They cannot afford to, or there would be no bodies. I cannot afford to give the name of my nephew in this poem or eulogy or forecast. I will not whisper his name into the asphalt. Instead, I will whisper my own. Give my body to the thirsty white throats instead. What is more sacrificial than something bleeding black and woman? Let me be a worthy sacrifice, and this is not to say that I do not want to live. There is just not enough sage or magic in my city to wish the death out, so I give my body instead. I wish my body into a bargain, a trade for my kin. I told you. Loving brown bodies comes as a sacrifice. I wish my body into that sacrifice. A brown body is always the sacrifice, my nephew. My nephew and I smoke a wood for our nigga who was just murdered. Poof. I disappear. Brown bodies begin to bloom.